What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. Yes, sir. We back. We back. We back, baby. We are absolutely back. Listen, if you just logging in, we are live right now on onevoiceradio.com. My name is Stanley Doucette. I am the host of Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette, and we making it happen today, baby. Listen, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, I greet you. I say hello. All of the ways you can say hello in every language around the world, I just want to say hello. How are you? Today's show, I believe, is going to be impactful because we're going to be talking about wealth. That's right. We're not even cutting through it, we're not even playing with it. We're going to be talking about wealth tonight. I am overly joyed that I have the opportunity to share because I'm going to share some notes with you that I actually learned from my mentor and some other research that I've done. But listen, guys, I'm telling you, make sure you go and get some notes. Go take some pen, paper, pad, a Crayola, construction paper, glue. I don't care what you take notes with today, but take notes because I believe this is going to impact you in the most powerful, powerful way. All right. So today's show is actually going to be about wealth consciousness. Listen, it is going to be powerful. I'm telling you, it's not just going to be about money, but we're going to talk in detail about just overall wealth. And I'm excited to talk about that. I believe a lot of us have not been educated on wealth and wealth principles and all of those things. So I wanted to do a quick show to share with you guys the things that I've learned about wealth. See, I remember once upon a time, I didn't even know the difference between rich and wealth. I had no idea the difference between because in all of the school I went through, all of the education and the formal education, they never taught us about wealth or riches. They never taught us about that. I didn't learn that until I got into business later on, and I received my mentor, and then he began sharing different things with me. But if I was to rely on what was going on in school when I was there, I didn't learn that. I just didn't learn that level of understanding about wealth and riches, right? So what I want to do today is just share that. If you've never heard some of this, no worries. That's why we're here. If you have heard about it, I ask that you begin to share those nuggets and jewels with so many other people that's out there because people are just not sharing this information for whatever reason. And on our show, our Let's Talk with Family Doucette family, we want everybody to win and win at the highest level that's out there. Listen, go and follow me on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube channel. YouTube channel is funny. My YouTube channel as well as LinkedIn. We're on all of those platforms under Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. And then also go to my website, let's talk with stanleydoucette.com. Just go there, share, like, subscribe, donate, anything you want to do, it's there. And then also, I'm asking that the family do me a favor. Listen, as I continue to build out the topics as we move forward, and I have different guests that are coming on, all of those things, here's what I'm asking you guys to do. Send me an email about a podcast or a topic like for us to explore or think about having on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I want to do that because I don't want to just do topics that I think people want. I want to do things that you want to hear and know about and share and discuss and bring on other experts to be able to share those things in a great vision. Okay. So just go to my website, let's talk with stanleydoucette.com. And then in the middle of the page, you'll see my website. It's let's talk with Stanley D at gmail.com. Go there, click on that, send me a message. We'll get back and respond to you, and we'll look at all topics that you guys send to me. I'm not going to guarantee you we're going to put all of them on the air, but what I can say is I am going to look at them and seriously think about and consider actually putting them on the air because I want to make sure that we're buying and tying into all of the family that's out there and making sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. All right. So again, if you now ride, if you're in your car, if you're in a plane, if you're on a boat, if you're on a railway, listen, go ahead on and get ready, except the cars. If you're driving, Don't do this. Everyone else, get your Crayolas out, get your pencils out, or as you used to say, get your number two pencils out. And I think somebody once said, if they got a number two pencil, where's the number one pencil? We want to see that one as well. So listen, go ahead, get your pencils out, your pen, your paper, all that stuff, take notes. We're going to go through this. It's not going to be a long podcast today, but make sure you absorb everything that we're going to be sharing with you on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. And today's topic, again, is wealth consciousness. We want to make sure we're conscious about our wealth. Now, in saying that, wealth have a multitude of things that we can talk about. So I'm going to hone in on just a few to share with you guys. I want to share something to kind of get us started with wealth consciousness. Wealth consciousness implies the absence of money worries. Let me say that again. Wealth consciousness implies the absence of of money conscious. I'm messing that all up. Let me say it again. Let me get it together. I must be sleepy or something. All right. Wealth consciousness implies the absence of money worries. Let me say it again. Wealth consciousness implies the absence of money worries, meaning you're not worrying about money, if you will. So we want to get that out the way first. Truly wealthy people never worry about losing their money because they know that wherever it came from, money's come from there. Wherever money's come from, it's an inexhaustible supply of it. And when I say inexhaustible supply of it, I really mean inexhaustible. It is not actually going to go anywhere, but it's there. Wealth is being fulfilled in every aspect of our lives, every single one of our lives, everywhere. It's being fulfilled. And I'm going to share with you those some 6 things that we'll share with you, but they're literally being fulfilled in every aspect of our lives. It truly is. And it's remarkable. It is truly, truly remarkable. And what I want to do, guys, is these 6 components that I want to share with you that I really believe once you have wealth in abundance in all of these actual fields or in these particular categories, I think you will be living the most abundant life and the most well-fulfilled and wealthy life that is out there. All right. So the first one, and some of you guys probably already know me with this, and they know the first one is spirituality. Y'all already know that. You have to have a deep sense and a deep love for that information. All right. So your spiritual walk, your spiritual talk, not just religion, right? But your spirituality covers everything. I don't want to go into religion and exclude this person or that person or do this or do that. But I'm talking about every single area in your spiritual walk, right? So whoever your spiritual creator is, whoever your spiritual guide is, however your spiritual walk is, whatever it is, I'm talking about having wealth in that standpoint, in that category, understanding at the highest level, at the greatest level, at the most successful level in your spiritual walk. All right. I think there's even like 7 stages of spiritual development. Now, just for this podcast, I'm not going to go into those 7 stages of spiritual development, but I want you guys to understand, know where we are. All right. So number two is financial, is finances. Now, we can go a tremendous amount of ways in this particular category. We absolutely can. But what I want to do is I want to break even this piece down a little bit further. Here is why I want to do this today with finances. If you look at what's going on in the world, a lot of things are seen to be going haywire. Here's the difference though. The wealthy people are literally purchasing, snatching, and grabbing things up for bargain basement prices, right? People that may not have wealth from a monetary standpoint are just kind of looking and wishing they could get in the game. And maybe they can, maybe they can't. But the wealthy people are literally getting those things at a great deal, where others are not. So we want to put you in a place, hopefully after this podcast, you can understand the totality of wealth. And then if you want to dig further into, let's say, finances and monetary stuff, you can and be able to understand it even at a greater height, a greater level, and then now begin to do the things that you need to do in that field. Okay, so let me tell you, breaking down the financial side. Number one, financial stability. Financial stability. Excuse me. Financial stability at this stage, right, is where you can pay your bills. It's that simple. This is why you can pay your bills. So you're not really stressed about paying your bills. Let me rewind just for a second. I really think I should have put another one in here, and I don't know what I would have called it, but just another one in here. And just simply for those people that have never had the opportunity to be in a position to actually pay your bills. Because believe it or not, it's 40% of Americans are struggling to pay their basic needs. So obviously there's an issue or a challenge somewhere that's a breakdown where there are people that are having troubles with paying their bills. I call those individuals or say they're in between monies. Now, I'm not saying the monies is not coming to them. I don't believe in saying that they're poor or broke. I just believe that they're in between money. So if you're in between money and you don't have the resources, well, yeah, it's a little bit different to pay your electricity bill or your water bill or your mortgage or your rent or your car note, right? I understand. So a lot of people are out there under that stress. And if you're under that stress, continue to look deeper into what those challenges may be. You may be having a challenge with budgeting your money properly. You may have a challenge with it's just quite frankly, it's just not enough money to pay the bills, right? So, and you understand everything is getting higher and higher and higher, from groceries to just everyday gas. It is just getting higher and higher and higher. Now, with that being said, in that space or in that category, if you are having trouble with paying your rent or your mortgage or your car note, let's first look at to see if we're budgeting right. Let's see, we need to, figure out how to get more money. Let's look and see if we're doing what we're supposed to do in that space. Now, some people may say, well, once you get your financial advisor, and if you're in a space where you don't have monies or you're in between monies, that's the last thing you're trying to spend money on, right? Well, here's the thing. I get it, I understand. But let's at least look at somebody maybe in the family that can help create a budget for you or create a structure for you. So now that you can begin to put things in place and take some of that stress off if you're in one of those individuals that are struggling to pay your basic needs. So I understand that. Now let's get to number one. All right, that was kind of like an offshoot. Let's get to number one, financial stability. I told you that is the stage where you can pay your bills. That's great. 40% of Americans, like I said, struggle to pay their basic needs. So being able to comfortably cover expenses is a great first step in financial well-being and all of those good things. Here is the thing. We're saying comfortable pay or comfortably cover your bills. So let's just comfortably cover. If you're not there yet, keep working. You're going to get there. Make sure you share or get with somebody that you can trust, thoroughly trust, 100% trust, that they can help you, put things in place so you can get to that place. All right. So number one is financial stability. Number two, financial strategy. This is where you are, where your army of dollar bills has a plan beyond simply cash reserve or simply putting it in the bank. It has more that it's doing to that, right? Now is the time to make sure your money is working for you, well, through investments and through investment tools. I'm not going to tell you which ones they are, what you should do or shouldn't do. That is up to you. I'm not going to get into your money like that. But those are the things that you have to invest in and investigate and see what is best for you. But when you're at this place, now you're starting to look to see how you can begin putting money in places where it can begin making money, right? Let your money start to make money for you. So that's at this particular category. So number one, again, is financial stability. Number two is financial strategy. And again, we're just literally breaking down the financial piece where we're talking about the actual 6 components that are wealth conscious and that we think will cover every single aspect of our lives. Okay. So now we got to financial strategy. The next one is financial security. Financial security. This is where you're not sweating the small stuff. You're just not sweating the small stuff. You have confidence that your financial strategy and life are in a good place. Now, I didn't say a great or outstanding place, but it's in a good place, right? So you have financial security. I'm not going to give numbers out because where you are, those numbers can go up and down. But being financially secure, it'll put you in a little bit place of a little bit more rest. And what I mean by rest is you don't have some of that stress as other people may have, right? If you're one of those 40% Americans and unfortunately pushing through to pay for your basic living needs, that's one place. But these individuals that have financial security, they're not sweating that stuff. They got light bill, electricity bill, and gas bill, and water bill. All of that stuff is covered. They're not even sweating. It's on automatic pay, right? Their life is good. You know, they're doing good for themselves. Bravo and kudos to them. So that's why you offer financial security. Now, the next one, and breaking this down, is financial freedom. Now, this is the level where level of wealth where most people aspire to reach, and that's financial freedom. This stage, you can do whatever you want, when you want, and how you want to do it. So you have basically starting to live in abundance, if you will, right? So financial freedom, you kind of have everything in place. Your money's making money for you. You've gotten the things that you want to do. You feel secure, and you're free. So now you can move about the world as you please. You want to fly to Germany this week? Fly to Germany. If you want to fly to one of the Caribbean islands, hey, fly to one of the Caribbean islands. Do whatever it is that you have to do, because you can do what you want, when you want, and how you want to do it, because you have the financial means to do so. All right. So that's number 4. And last one on this financial piece is financial abundance. Is financial abundance. Money doesn't restrict you anymore. So financial freedom, you still have some restrictions. You may not have purchased that private jet or that private yacht as of yet. You know, you're still working to get to that next step of financial abundance. When you arrive at financial abundance, money does not restrict you anymore at all. Cost is not an issue. You have additional freedoms to vision, plans, and decide what kind of purpose and legacy you want to leave. Think about that. You get to this place, now you're talking about your legacy. Now you're talking about what kind of purpose do I have? And money is not restricting you. So now you have an abundance of things to do. You have an amazing amount of people to actually bless and be involved with and help and coach and put things through. It is truly, truly amazing of how we do that. So first of all, let's look at that again, right? So we're talking about the 6 components of wealth. Number 1 is spirituality. Number 2 is financial. And if we break those finances down, there are 5 different levels of finances, right? Number 1, we talk about financial stability. Number 2, financial strategy. Number 3, financial security. Number 4, financial freedom. And number 5 is financial abundance. Financial. Matter of fact, y'all just say that word, abundance. Say it again. Come on. Everybody didn't participate, family. Come on, y'all. All right. 1, 2, 3. Say it again. Abundance. Yes. Say it like you convicted with it. You know, abundance. Call the abundance in your life. Abundance of wealth, abundance of joy, abundance of peace. Just call it into your life. I'm not going to go into that, but that's where we are. All right. So now, number 3 under the 6 components of wealth. Number 3 is health. Listen, I say this all the time. I'm fortunate enough, as I was growing up in business, I had the opportunity to work for a multi-billionaire, right? Done highly successful things. I'm not going to say who it is, because if I even say one of the companies, you're going to know immediately who I'm talking about. So I'm not going there, but just believe me, I had the opportunity to work for a multi-billionaire. I saw and learned so many things that it was amazing. One of the things that we're talking about health that was very interesting to me, because I've never seen it before until I was there with them, right? When they would get sick, and you're talking about health, you're not feeling good, they didn't go to the doctor. They didn't go sit in the waiting room. They didn't do any of that stuff. The actual doctor came to them. Let me say that again. They were at such a level of abundance to where they even made sure their health was at abundance. So if they had a little sniffle, they had a this or that, they had the actual doctor come to them, and whatever it may be, whether you got to get a prescription, whether they have to just do something or whatever it may have been, then they did that. But the actual physical doctor or the human doctor came to them. Wasn't a nurse, wasn't a PA, wasn't a nurse's assistant, none of that. A actual medical doctor. I thought that was amazing, family, because listen, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't even grow up a multimillionaire. But here's the thing: when I was looking and learning and studying and understanding how multi-billionaires live their life, and I saw that, that was something I said, I got to put this in my head because I think this is going to be incredible. And that's how I started living. And then I had, I think I was talking to, or I was listening to Dr. Cindy Trim. And I remember one time she said something about health that caught my attention. You know, she was saying a lot of people talk about they're healthy, but what happens if you live in the realm of healthy wealth or wealth health, right? Simply saying you don't even get sick because you've elevated yourself in such a way. Well, when you talk about wealth, I believe that's health abundance. And now you're living in a place where you don't even get sick. I think that is absolutely amazing. So again, number one is spirituality. Number two is financially. Number three is health. Now let's get to the next one, intellectually. Number four is intellectual or intellectually, right? We're talking about wealth. If you have that level of intellect, and I don't know why this is the first person that popped into my mind, but like a Cornel West, somebody that intellect is absolutely amazing. It is, you know, his mind is just, as I like to say, his mind is somewhere else. He is literally that high in from an intellectual standpoint. He lives in the wealth of intellect. When you think about certain things, you know, you talk to him, you know, it's an incredible conversation. There's another gentleman that I think about here is actually one of my favorite preachers, believe it or not. But when I talk, or when you talk to him, he have a dictionary in his breath, and you better get your thesaurus, your dictionary, your hooked on phonics, anything can pronounce words, understanding everything, and make sure Google and everybody else is there to help you understand some of the words that he began to articulate. But that comes from a wealth of intellect and so many other things, right? So number four is intellect. Number five is socially. We have to know what's going on around us. I'm not saying you have to be involved with, you know, news shows or sitcoms or dramas, right? I'm not saying you have to know this. I'm not saying you have to be close with keeping up with the Kardashians or whatever they calling it now. Or I'm not saying you have to be live with Regis or something like that. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, but we have to be aware of all of that's going on. And you start to have that abundance and know what's going on, you begin to have that abundance or that wealth in the society standpoint or societal standpoint. I think that's great because now you know what's going on, if you will, as I like to say, in these streets. Now you know what's going on in these streets. Now you can make different decisions on whatever it is that you may be doing, but at least now you know what's going on and you're aware of it, and you're continuously building that wealth at the highest level in your society, right? And the last one, number six, is relationships. How long can I talk about wealth and relationships? But I don't want it to be stuck on just a husband, wife, or friends. I'm talking about relationships, period. When you begin to have relationships with individuals that are your friends and begin to live in a place and have the communication and the thoughts and converse with them and love on them and hold them up to high esteem and encourage them and be a blessing to them and not be negative and all of those things. When you begin to do those things and you hold those individuals up, guess what happens? It is absolutely a blessing to have a relationship. Now, I also say in those relationships of wealth that make sure you line up with those relationships. So if it's business and you're talking business to someone and they can't understand, I don't know, your athletic side, listen, keep it in that vein. Make sure you stay there with them. Don't go into athletics. Just stay in education or just stay in schools or whatever that may be, or in business, right? Make sure you stay there, because if you don't, then what happens is you get everything all twisted up. And we don't want to do that. So, in the wealth of relationships, we want to make sure that we stay in the abundance. Remember, we're talking about wealth consciousness. So, if you're understanding that I need to build this up, I need to build this muscle up, I need to have better relationships or more relationships or less relationships to make sure that it is absolutely 100% where you want it to be. Well, let's work on that. If it's something where you're talking about society and you don't necessarily know all of what's going on, as a matter of fact, let's say you don't know anything about TikTok, you've never heard of it. If I remember in a recent a recent survey came out or whatever it is, but the fact of the matter is TikTok has taken over Google as the number one, I think it's number one internet search or whatever it is, place, or how many clicks or whatever it may be, right? TikTok. And if you don't know what TikTok is, that falls into society and some of those things. And now you have to at least be aware and abreast of what it is to build that muscle for your society. And I'm going backwards. Intelligent is the same thing. If you're slacking on some level of intelligence and you need to work that muscle to become wealthy in that space, let's just go ahead on and work that muscle. Health, again, listen, I've never seen someone making a lot of money, wealthy, being in a great place, in a great space, have ever been unhealthy. I just haven't seen that. So what I want you guys to do is make sure that on the health standpoint, that you lift that up and you bring those things to fruition and make sure all is well. Finances, we dealt with that pretty much, but make sure you're doing everything that you're supposed to do with your finances. And lastly, your spirit, make sure, guys, I can't tell you to pray. I can't tell you what to do or who to go to or all of those things, but a suggestion of mine is to make sure you strengthen your spirituality. I think wholeheartedly that is the number one thing to do before you do anything else, is to lift up your spirituality. Some people believe, some people don't. It's okay, but I truly believe that's what it is. So guys, listen, that's it for today's podcast. I told y'all it was not going to be long today, but I wanted to drop this on you guys because I believe in having a wealth conscious, forefront of your mind, thinking about wealth in all of these 6 components. And when you do that, I think you'll be not only just well-rounded, but you will have a peaceful, successful, and blessed life beyond anything you could imagine. All right. So listen, guys, let's talk with Stanley Doucette. We live again next week. We're doing this again next week. All of the things that we shared today is just constantly building and allowing you to put feathers in your hat. I love in your hat, not in your hat, in your hat. I love you guys. I appreciate this. Listen, let's continue to build and build and build. Invite somebody in to listen to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. It is an amazing accomplishment for all of our family, friends, relatives, and everybody. We have a great time. We love you guys. And it's just amazing for us to continue to push forward and do the things that we have to do. So listen, I'm getting the DJ ready. He's already queued up. Y'all know I have the best intro and outro music on the planet. So let's go to work. Let's make sure we implement these things into our everyday life. And remember, guys, any type of topics you guys want to talk about, or if you think I should have somebody on the show, please shoot me an email, letstalkwithstanleyd@gmail.com. Go to my website, letstalkwithstanleydoucette.com. In the middle It has my email address there. If you can't remember, just click on that, shoot us an email, and just let us hear what you have to say on that. Go to our YouTube channel, follow us there, and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and all of those places. Follow us, share, subscribe. Just join us, family, on this ride as we continue to go further and further. So with that being said, DJ, you ready with the music? Because we're about to take it back to the street. I appreciate you guys. God bless, and let's take it to the street. Let's go.